Today we're talking about lithium iron phosphate battery cells and the risk for explosion. And we have not covered this on the channel. Previously, I only talked about the fire risk, which is exceptionally low compared to other lithium ion variants. And a lot of people, including myself, have just gotten used to saying these are not very dangerous. They are dangerous. Any type of battery is going to be dangerous. But compared to the other lithium ion batteries, I always thought that these were safer. But this chemistry has a nasty secret. These can give off gases that are flammable, and if a lot of it accumulates in a very confined space, you can actually have an explosion risk. So first, let's talk about failure mechanisms. What causes a healthy cell that has no gas inside to create flammable gases? First off is overcharging with a high voltage. Usually there's a BMS, but if that fails and you have a shorted FET, these can be exposed to a high voltage and they can create gas and they'll vent from the overpressure relief valve on the top. Next is physical abuse. These are hermetically sealed in aluminum cases. If you were to damage that by sawing it in half or shooting a nail in the side, you are going to have gas formation. Next is over discharging the cell. So if you drop it to 0 volts and you try to charge it up, it might vent. Next is charging in cold temperatures. If you have dendrite formation that punches the separator, you're going to have an internal short and gas formation will occur. Next is exceeding the charge or discharge rate rated by the battery cell. So if this is rated for 1 or 2C, if you charge and discharge with 10C, you can cause gas formation. A lot of times it will get swollen and it won't vent, but that gas formation shows that the cell is unusable. Now, usually a battery will have a battery management system to prevent these things from happening. But a battery management system uses MOSFETs, and those can fail in a shorted state. It might be rare, but it can happen. We've actually done it on this channel. Common causes are transformer-based battery chargers for lead-acid batteries. It can short a FET, and then all of your safety features go out the window. And this is true for cheap batteries and more expensive batteries. The more expensive ones should have better matched ones, higher quality MOSFETs, but it can happen on any battery. And when the BMS fails, it's the same as having a string of cells directly connected to the terminals with zero safety features. Once that happens, these are exposed to things that can cause them to vent. Once these vent, they give off white smoke, and that white smoke is very bad for your health. Next, by volume, almost half of the gas that this creates is hydrogen. And if this hydrogen accumulates in a small room, a basement, or even a boat, and the concentration goes above 4%, and you have an ignition source, you're going to have an explosion. So technically, it's pretty hard for it to happen, but it could happen to any battery. And I've been learning about this stuff since last August. I've been watching the YouTuber called StacheD Training. Now, I've had a lot of comments on my channel saying that he likes to sensationalize lithium-ion battery failures, and I love it. He needs to do that. He does a fantastic job. And he's not just a firefighter, he's an actual engineer. I've met him. I'm friends with him. He's very smart. This guy's doing his job, and he knows what he's doing. He knows the safety standards, he reads the fire safety studies, and he's got a point. These can create an explosion risk. It might be very, very small, but it's possible. All batteries are dangerous, no matter what. And the more we learn from each other, the faster we can push forward. So I highly recommend people check out his channel. Now we can talk about solutions. How do we prevent an explosion with our own systems at home? So the best way I've found, I've been thinking about it for months, is to use outdoor rated, UL listed batteries and have them mounted outside. If any of the cells were to vent, those gases will escape into the environment. If there's any way that those gases can be contained or confined, that's where you get issues. If it's outdoors, I can't find a single case of an explosion happening. It's just not possible. Hydrogen is hard to contain as it is, but if you have it outdoors, it's pretty much impossible. Next solution is ventilation systems like evacuation fans, but this needs to be done by a professional or you need to do the math properly. My high voltage battery cabinet from Doya has evacuation fans for this reason. One's on the bottom, one's on the top. The bottom one sucks air in and the top one pushes air out, and they're designed for that capacity of battery. And they have a heat sensor and a gas sensor, and they only open and turn on when there's a problem. Also, the fans need to be designed for that purpose, and you should probably have redundancy built into the system, which means its own power supply or its own battery backup if that main battery were to fail, because you have to power it off of something, right? Keep in mind that designing a ventilation system for lithium iron phosphate is not the same as lead acid batteries. A lot of people think, hey, lead acid bubbles off hydrogen on the equalized charge. Maybe I could just use a system like that and hydrogen will not accumulate. That is not true. Lithium iron phosphate gives off a lot more hydrogen much faster than any lead acid battery bank. So a system that evacuates that much gas needs to be built perfectly with backup systems. Now the final solution I've heard about is from Tesla. They have spark generators and blowout panels. So if gas does accumulate, it is constantly trying to catch it on fire. And I actually like that method. It's pretty simple and you can put it anywhere. Now something that confuses me is all the solutions that I just said are on large batteries for the grid, but in small consumer batteries, they don't have that. Even large consumer batteries like a Tesla Powerwall, even if it's CEC listed and it's UL 9540, they'll just put some fire extinguishers in there. But LFP has very limited combustibility. So what use are those fire extinguishers? Those don't seem to help with the explosion risk at all. It seems like the most dangerous ones are the sealed case ones, like these small budget batteries. Now what's interesting is a battle-born battery is probably the highest risk. It has arcing inside the whole time when you're using it. And the cells overheat, and I've had one of the cells vent. It's the only type of battery I've had to vent unless I physically abused it. But the fact that those battle-borns are not exploding everywhere is crazy to me. It's wild. It's like the perfect storm of things to cause an explosion, and it just doesn't happen. Now I'm pretty sure I've seen every single LFP video for fire or explosion on YouTube because everyone sends them to me. And when it comes to explosion in the fire studies, I've only seen about 4. And that's out of tens of millions of installations. So it's crazy that this doesn't happen more often. These create hydrogen and we have ignition sources everywhere. So why aren't these things exploding more? And how does Underwriters Laboratory and CEC approved stuff not have explosive mitigators? Maybe the standards need to be revised, or maybe it's just such a low risk that they omit it. I really don't know. I don't know how fire standards are created. Now, when there is an explosion caused by LFP, it is catastrophic. The first example is this one in Germany where a house completely blew up. Next one happened last year in a small electric boat. And this one had a lot of media coverage. The cells vented, and then it accumulated, and then it exploded, and it blew all the windows and doors off the boat. And the last example is one that was mentioned a lot last week from StacheD Training. It was a small shed outside of a house, and they had nice Discover batteries. And in that instance, after investigators ruled out all other possible causes, they blamed the batteries. And it kind of makes sense with how it exploded. You can see what's going on here. Now the fourth and last example is the CATL subsidiary factory explosion in 2021. But in that one, they say the explosion was caused by a low temperature and equipment issue, which raised the pressure of an exhaust tower and led to a valve failure, which doesn't seem like an LFP explosion, but it's an LFP battery factory. So there was a failure and it caused an explosion. So those are my 4 examples. I haven't found any others. Now, when it comes to my systems at home, I test these batteries for a living. I have a battery cycling machine, and I push these things to the absolute limit, and I've had cells vent. And my best mitigation effort is having large doors to open so I can have lots of airflow. That's pretty much it. When it comes to most of my systems, I don't think I'm going to make any changes. If I can find something that everyone can do that can prevent, an explosion from happening, I'm going to share it. But for now, I just don't see too much of a risk. With that said, I'm still going to try to think of a solution for everyone, especially these small battery systems. It seems like the powers to be just don't care about them. No matter how rare it is, it can still happen. And we don't want to become fanboys of some random battery chemistry. I like lithium iron phosphate, but I'm not going to ignore the downsides. I think the biggest risk is when these do fail and they vent and they don't explode, the health effects of the gas. It's not just the hydrogen, they'll have hydrogen fluorine. That is a highly toxic and corrosive gas, and these create that. If you see this thing venting, I want you guys to run away. Don't hang out. I saw this one video of this lady with her phone and she was just watching it. You don't do that. Run as far away as you possibly can. So this is Will Prowse from the future, and I think I figured something out. The reason a lot of these batteries do not explode from these gases is because the concentration needs to be perfect. You have to have the perfect amount of oxygen and the perfect amount of hydrogen. The hydrogen needs to be between 4 and 56% or upwards of 75%. And the oxygen has to be perfect too for reaction. And if you're outside that window, it's going to be very hard to cause that to explode. It's really hard to get consistent figures on this stuff though, and each battery is going to give off different gases. So each battery cell has a different profile for what can cause an explosion. Also, it's not just hydrogen that these release. They release other gases that throw off this concentration even more, for the better or for the worse. But if you get the perfect concentration and you have an ignition source, you will have an explosion. But it seems very hard to do, and that's why we don't have many cases of this happening. Now, I have a challenge for StacheD Training. This is lithium titanate oxide. This is considered the most safest chemistry around. It's a lithium ion variant. It has 20 to 30,000 charge cycle life. You can discharge it down to 0. You can overcharge it. You can cut into it and drill it. And it doesn't seem to have any issues like LFP or NMC or NCA or any of the other variants. This one, for some reason, just doesn't seem to react with anything. And even this pack right here doesn't even have a BMS. It only has a balancer. So I challenge you to find something wrong with this chemistry. Maybe for RVs and vans, they could use lithium titanate oxide. It's pretty horrible. Volumetric and the specific energy density is horrendous. The voltage curve is wide and linear, and they're expensive. But if somebody wants the safest system possible, maybe these will be a solution in the future. Personally, I'm going to use lithium iron phosphate, and if I'm doing something stupid, I'm doing it outside. Or if I have a large system and I'm not home, then it needs to be outside. Actually, maybe we can make a consumer version of the Tesla spark generator and we can put it inside of our own batteries. It might be annoying, but it will actually work. So anyways, I'm learning it just like you guys are. If you guys have any explosion stories, please send them my way and I'll share it with the world. We all need to learn about these batteries together, and that's the only way we can do it. I don't like these comments thinking that people are sensationalizing things when they have evidence to back it up and they have logic. StacheD Training is making some fantastic points on his channel, and we need to learn. He is a professional in his industry and he's worked in it for a very long time. If he's saying something, we need to listen and question it. I just don't want people becoming fanboys to anything. I hope you liked the video. That was a lot of talking, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye.